anticipate that within an hour we should be able to count and then declare the winner. And so yes, if you ask, it is an important day in the calendar of the party. It is my hope that the good people of Afigya Kwabre North will re-employ me. As you know, they gave me some temporary employment for 4 years. I hope that they renew my mandate and continue to send me to Parliament for me to be the lead advocate for the constituency. Good,
thank you, Honourable. Now let's move straight to business. Now, as a first termer, what are some of the initiatives instituted by your office since assuming power as the Member of Parliament for the constituency?
That's an interesting question. And before that, and you rightly went through a little bit of my CV. I was born in the constituency. My mother, my father, all hail from the constituency. I was baptized in the constituency. I happened to come to Accra through the benevolence of an uncle of mine. So yes, I had my education here in Accra, Presec, before I went to the University of Ghana. But because of my ties with the constituency, I keep telling people I feel what they feel, and if you rightly read, I went through the mail, went through polling station before joined TESCON when I was in the university, became an assemblyman, and indeed that was a big stepping stone for me, because whilst as an assemblyman I was a member of the executive committee of the district and also the chair of the finance committee of the district. Now what that really afforded me was that it afforded me an opportunity to know exactly what is happening within the entire district. And so if you ask me to mention all the towns within the constituency, it's so simple for me to mention what are the key issues within the specific towns within the district. It's so easy for me to say. It was on the basis of that I felt that having gone through the mail, I felt that I was now ripe to represent them in Parliament. Now when I went to Parliament, with this experience, it was clear to me what I really needed to do. My constituency is roughly about 60,000 people.
Wow.
And a population of 60,000 people, we have about close to 60% of that 60,000 people being between the ages of 18 and 45. And so it's a very youthful constituency. And so with the statistics in mind, it was very clear to me that what I needed to do. I was dealing with a very youthful constituency. Of course, agriculture is the main staple occupation within the area. Now, the first thing I did as a member of Parliament was to tour the entire constituency, town by town. I went through each town, met the chiefs and the people, and had a very interesting conversation. And it was a time for me to listen to them and for them to also listen to me. And it afforded me the opportunity to, at first hand, understand exactly what the problems were on the ground. And then it took me about 2 weeks to do that. And immediately after that, while I was going there, I was just putting down some notes. And I did what I call a development plan. I mean, not the professional one that you do with a big book. I mean, a very simple process that afforded me an opportunity to know exactly what was happening in each of the towns. So I set off to begin my development project. The key thing for me was education. Because it was a very youthful constituency, I knew that education had to be paramount on my list. I had a conversation with the district director of education, and the statistics she gave me at the time was frightening. I mean, 100 people write BEC and only 35 are able to progress to SS. Two main reasons was accounting for that. One was financial. The other was that clearly people I set out with the Director of Education and the DCE to see how best we can change the statistics. The first thing we did was to get some examiners, and I do that every year, consistently every year. I bring examiners into the constituency just to take the kids through how to answer questions and and all that. So fortunately, the pass rate has jumped
Wow.
from 65% to 93%.
And how did you do that?
Well, as I said, I knew that, as I said, I had two major problems. One was financial, and because the Nana Dankwa government had brought in the free SHS, it jumped the figure, the percentage from 32%, 35% to 60%. So what it meant was that some people were passing, but they obviously could not afford to go to the secondary school. So the free SHS afforded them to go to the secondary school. Now the 30% that was left was clearly because of examination, how to answer questions, and the poor result. So how do we tackle that? We bring in examiners for the teachers to spend more time with the kids and all that. And then we are happy to announce that today the pass rate has moved from 65% as at 2019 to 96% as I speak to you, the last results. So once that has been cleared, I needed to motivate the kids and to keep that kind of momentum within the constituency. So in my constituency, each year the first top 10 or top 15 best BEC students have a date with the Member of Parliament.
Wow.
And the first time I brought them to Kumasi, and it will surprise you. Some people had not moved even from the constituency to Kumasi. It was interesting.
Amazing.
It was quite interesting. The second one, I brought them to Accra, and I had the opportunity to take them to meet the Vice President.
Wow.
And it was a sight to behold. I mean, these are kids. One kid walks 10 miles a day, 10 miles to school every day, and he got 10, aggregate 10. And for him to move from a very tiny village within the constituency all the way to Accra and to meet the Vice President, that was quite some experience for them. And then I surprised them. I bought a plane ticket for all of them to get the experience for them to fly back to Accra.
They are really they are enjoying.
They really enjoyed.
Yeah.
What this has done is that anytime there's BEC and I go around, there's competition. Somebody raise a hand. Next time, never call. And I keep telling them that you have to be within the top 15 to join me to Accra or to any other place to have time with the Member of Parliament. That in itself has motivated the students, and I'm happy to announce that the results are showing very clearly. The next thing was to tackle the tertiary level. Some of them, they finished school. Unfortunately, they're unable to proceed to the secondary level. So I spent about 60% of my common fund on education, and I instituted a scholarship scheme for the students. Today, to date, I've had about 145 people benefiting from the scholarship scheme, and it is doing very, very well. The next thing was to tackle was the teachers, to motivate the teachers. I mean, I come from a very rural constituency, and I tell you, some people have to walk. Some of the teachers have to walk 5 miles. A car drops them at the junction, and for them to go into the hinterlands, there's to teach. I'm not too sure if I ask you to go and teach in a town called Diaponko in my constituency.
I'll try.
You would love to do so. So I instituted a teachers awards for the first time within the constituency. Wow. It happened in December. It was beautiful, just to encourage the teachers and to thank them for the service that if they are rendering to the constituency. These are people who sat in the same class with their colleagues who are teaching at Morning Star, and for them to accept postings to areas like mine, it was important that I motivated them. And so in terms of education, it's been wonderful, and I'm happy to say that when you come to my constituency, everybody knows that Honorable Collins is very, very passionate about education, because I sit here with you having a discussion just because of education. I recall one incident.
I was just about asking that. I mean, among all the challenges facing your constituency, why so passionate about education?
Well, I had an experience one time. I went to a funeral with my mother, and then when we got to the funeral, where I was born, my mom saw a lady, very pretty lady, with 2 kids, one lady at the back and one was also by her side. And the mom said, "Ura, we knew." And I said, "Ma, why are you saying that?" He said, "Oh, the day you were born, that was the same day she was also born. So in the village, they used to say, that's your wife, that's your wife." And looking at her at that moment, I mean, you could see clearly that there was a clear difference between myself and her. And the only reason why you could see the difference is because I got an opportunity to have somebody hold my hands and take me to school and pay my school fees. Maybe if she had the same opportunity, she could also be a member of parliament. So education is I'm very passionate about it.
How about people that have the same opportunity but decided not to? So let's take the lady for instance. Let's say she had the opportunity to go to school, but due to reasons best known to her, she decided not to go to school. So people like that, what are you doing?
Those are individual things, but I mean, the lady I'm talking about, she just didn't have the opportunity.
Okay.
Yes, to have the kind of education that I had. And today I'm where I am because of education. And the point I'm making is that I'm passionate about education because I believe that if people within my constituency get the opportunity that I have, I mean, somebody in a town called Diaponko writes BEC and gets a grade 9, a grade 8. You can imagine if the same person was in the same school as my kid here in Accra. That is a very intelligent person who walks 10 miles to a school and still makes it and gets a grade 8 and a grade 9. So very, very passionate because my whole life, and as I said, I'm here because education has brought me this far.
No, but okay, so looking at your achievement, you've done a lot. I mean, education.
Yes, so this is just for education.
Everything.
Yes.
This is just for education.
Yes.
Now, can we talk about road network in your constituency?
Yes, absolutely. I have 2 major road networks in my constituency. One begins from Ahinkro, a very popular town in my constituency, and ends at Chichwere, also a very popular town in my constituency. Fortunately, before the 2020 elections, government, through the efforts of this government, helped us to do some initial tiring of the road. And so, although it is not in the best of shapes, I think it is far, far better than it used to be. The major problem I have is with one other road that begins from Akom all the way to Pampetia. And that is where I still have a challenge. It's been given to a contractor.
No, but I come
to a town. There's a town in my constituency called PPP. Painting Pampetia Patase. The next time you visit my constituency, the day you come to my constituency, I'll take you there. It begins from Akom and ends at Painting Pampetia Patase. That road has been awarded to a contractor, but I must confess that payment has not been forthcoming.
Why?
To them. Well, I think the general financial constraint that the government is having. I'm continuously trying to push. Fortunately, at the time we were rising from Parliament, I got hints that his certificate had gone to the controller, and so hoping that in due course you have his certificate paid so that he can come back onto the road. But that is where I have a major challenge at the Kwabre side. But for the Afigya side, as I said, it's not in the best of shape, but at least it's more trouble. It's tired. The first coat has been done, and it's quite okay for the people.
Okay. Honorable. Now, youth unemployment. Youth unemployment is a major or a very worrying situation in this country. I must say that, I mean, it's not just in your constituency, it's across the country. Almost all the youth are complaining about unemployment. Now, what are you doing as a member of parliament for your constituency? What are you doing to, curb this worrying situation of unemployment, youth unemployment, to be specific in your constituency?
You're right, and my constituency is not an island. It's also experiencing the same youth unemployment situation. And when you go to my car right now, I have a lot of brown envelopes. And everybody is asking for, Honorable, can you help me? And sometimes when you open the envelopes and you look at the results and the kind of certificates that some of these constituents have, you'll marvel. First class students, upper.
Honorable, so good. So that takes me back to your education. I mean, your how passionate you are when it comes to education. Now, what then becomes the use of the education when people complete school and there are no jobs for them?
Well, I mean, you asked a very interesting question, but I can tell you that we would have been worse off if this case were not in school. It's important that first of all you get the education. So
The
that cannot be underestimated.
And after the education?
That's what I'm saying, that cannot be underestimated. It's important that you get students in school. In my constituency, for instance, as I said, predominantly they are farmers. So it's a farming community. Of course, even prior to the coming into force of the free education, we had a lot of the people dropping out at the GSS level. Question is, how do you curb youth unemployment? One of the things to do is for me, is to educate the people. That's number one. Number two, there are others who ordinarily cannot go to school. How do you help them to get some crafts? Major their craft so that they can work and do their own job. So the thing I did was that I picked agriculture because it's dominant within my constituency. Now I continuously explain to them that notion of agriculture being a fumejuma, as we put it, has changed. Agric is business. Agric is a profession. They are professional farmers now. Just a few years ago, I managed to put together a group of young men, and personally, through my own funding, procured about 3,000 seedlings, coconut seedlings for them. Yes, and I asked them that some of them have their own farms, they have their own lands, but they simply don't want to go into that profession. Probably they don't have the input to go. So I provided those inputs, provided seedlings for them to go into farming. We have also a pineapple project in my constituency where we are helping this youth with the seedlings for them to grow, and take it from me, give them the next 6-8 months. These products or crops are going to mature, are going to grow, and when it's time for harvesting, they can make some income. So these are some of the things that we are doing to reduce the unemployment level. Of course, there are a lot of artisans within my constituency. Fortunately, we've just had a TVET school in my constituency now, and I'm encouraging most of the students to also take advantage of that and do the carpentry, the masonry, and all those craft work that can also help them to be self-employed. Of course, as you put it, the white collar jobs are not readily available, so it's important that we also look elsewhere.
All right, Honorable. Now, Saturday, delegates are going to the polls to elect via parliamentary candidates. Honorable, do you think that, personally, do you think you have worked tirelessly to win the love and interest of your delegates?
Well, this is an interesting question. I wish you posed this question to my constituents. And as I said, I've lived with them all my life. Born there. For the past, I can say for the past 10 to 15 years, I've spent most of my time within the constituency, having been an assemblyman and all that. So, and since I became a member of parliament, I visit my constituency to surprise you. I go to my constituency every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks I visit my constituency. And I've shown them so much respect. And I believe that this Saturday, they are going to do the needful. Since I came to parliament, in all honesty and in all modesty, I don't think I have disgraced them in any way. Quickly, I was nominated to be a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament, member of the Health Committee of Parliament, member of the Youth and Sports Committee of Parliament. I joined the National Communication Team of the party, and within a very short period of time, I believe very strongly that there's no single time that we don't hear the name of Afigya Kwabre North, either on radio or on TV, always articulating our views on radio, on TV, and promoting the constituency. I believe, in all modesty, that I've served them well, and I know that they know that I deserve a second term. So it is true that you have to fear delegates, But I don't fear my delegates. I love my delegates. And I know
you have so much confidence in them.
I know they love me back. I know they love me back. Yes, I know.
Honorable, I mean, there are one or two footage I would like to show you and then ask questions about it.
Okay.
But meanwhile, I know that constituents of Afigya, Kwabre North, they are watching us this evening. And so if you have any question for your Member of Parliament, Honorable Collins is right here in the studios of Pan-African Television. Your questions, what have you, via Facebook at Pan-African Television, on YouTube at Pan-African Television, and our text message and WhatsApp line would be displayed on your television screen. Audible, there's a video displaying on the screen. What can you say about this particular building?
This is the new district assembly complex. Hitherto, my constituency, Afigya Kwabre North and Afigya Kwabre South, used to be under one district. A few years ago, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Kufuor granted us an independence, as we call it in the constituency. So now we have Afigya Kwabre North district in Afigya Kwabre North constituency. And the footage you see there, this was when we were inaugurating the district courts. Currently, we now have a new ultra-modern district courts, which houses a judge, with his bungalow and everything. So this picture you see there is our new ultra-modern district courts, which was commissioned by the Chief Justice himself, Justice Enin Yabua, before he retired. And just beside it is the new district courts, this district assembly block, which was also constructed just a year ago. And so yes, gradually Afigya Kwabre North is finding its feet. And I'm sure that in a couple of years to come, what you see here is the new bridge which is being constructed. We had a very major problem. My constituency links to Offenso, and one of the bridge caved in, and I managed to bring the road minister to have a look at it, and immediately under the emergency projects at the roads ministry, we managed to get all the new bridge being constructed. This was when it started. Currently, it's done, it's completed, and I hope that even maybe next week or next 2 weeks, officially, we should be commissioning it.
We'll be there.
Yes,
we'll be there to take coverage.
Yeah. It's a very beautiful new bridge that is being constructed within the constituency.
Honorable, and in 2023, last year, you openly backed Vice President, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's flag bearership bid. Yes. Now, how confident are you? Do you not think that this could affect your chances of winning the seat?
Not at all. I mean, Bawumia got about 70% of the vote in my constituency. If anything if that is anything to go by, what it means is that my constituent listened to my plea, because I went to them to plead with them to allow Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia become our candidate, and they listened. So if that is anything to go by, I'm sure my constituent will follow up with the same resounding victory as they gave Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Again, whilst campaigning, I was very circumspect. I never attacked anyone of the presidential candidates. Indeed, Mr. Kennedy Japan was in my constituency, and he even praised me to my constituents, although he knew that I'd thrown in my weight for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So I had a very decent campaign, and I don't think that is going to affect me at all.
Okay. We'll be wrapping up very soon, but let me take you down the memory lane. From 1996, we know that your constituency traditionally is for the NPP.
It is.
It's
always going to be.
It's always going to be.
Yes.
I like that. Honorable, since 1996 to 2016, I think the New Patriotic Party, especially the parliamentary candidates, does very well when it comes to the voting pattern. Now, things changed a little bit during your tenure, 2020. You had 65.75% percentage of the votes in 2020. Honorable, what do you think resulted to this?
I enjoy journalists and and the way you play with figures.
Wow.
When it suits you, you use percentages.
Yeah.
And when it suits some other time, use the raw figures. I was hoping that if you look at the raw figures, nobody has garnered my raw figure before.
Okay, the votes 20,000.
You can check whether any of the candidates since 1996 has been able to get 20,000 votes.
Yes. Okay. So. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody has been able to garner 20,000 votes.
So let's do with the percentage.
That's what I'm saying, that it suits you. So you are happy. You're happy to say.
No, it's not like that. Let's do with the percentage. So in 1996. 69.3%, 2000 72.2%, 2004 78.2%, 2008 73.7%, 2012 69.3%, 2016 71.5%, and 2020 65.75%.
I'm saying that I would have
that.
Loved it. I understand. I'm
yes,
prepared
I also understand.
I'm a mathematician. I'm an economist. Wow. So I'm a banker. So I don't have a problem. I'm saying that 2016, you said 70.something%.
Yes.
What you fail to tell us is the total number of votes or total number of valid vote casts in 2016.
Okay.
And then compare that to the total number of
but even with that, Emmanuel Jackson Agumovi, National Democratic Congress, also garnered 34.25%.
That was in 2020.
Yeah, that was in 2020 when you contested.
Yes. So that was my first
So when we look at that, with regards to your percentage dropped.
Because I'm saying
and then theirs increased a little.
I don't have any problem.
Yeah, so
I'm saying that. I'm saying that in 2020 we had a total valid vote of how many? I garnered 20,000 and above. Mr. Guma got 10,000. In total, there was 30,000. Almost 8,000 people didn't vote. We had 38,000 people registering to vote. Check the total population of voters in 2016.
Okay.
And then you just oppose that to 2020. And I think when you do that, we're doing a fair analysis.
You think I'm not being fair?
You're not being fair. But you know very well.
I decided to deal with the percentage.
Yes, I understand. It suits you, so you say, let's do percentages. You're saying that is true, that in the history of our party in the constituency, 65 seems to be the lowest, because even last 4 years, 2016, there was 71. I am also telling you that in the history of our constituency, no candidate has been able to garner 20,000, more than 20,000.
I'm waiting for my producer to give me that.
That's
TJ, TJ, I'm on standby.
I know my figures.
TJ, I'm on standby.
You can check the total votes garnered by the MPP in 2016.
Okay.
And check that how much I garnered in 2020.
Honorable, now away from that, last week I had a conversation with the Member of Parliament for Anyasotum constituency, Adoma Kukisi.
A very good friend.
You're a very good friend. And he makes this argument that he's pleading on delegates to select or elect already members of Parliament. According to, you know that the NDC, during their time or their parliamentary primaries, they maintained almost 70 to 80% of their already members of Parliament, and that means that they are already informed. They are already how do I use institutional memory and all of that. They have the experience. Yes, they have the experience. Honorable, what do you think? Do you think that we already have members or notable members of Parliament exiting? They are not representing the party come December general election. The likes of Osei Che, Jugate, Kennedy Japan, Joe Osei, Owusu, Carlos Ahenkra, and all of that. Honorable, do you think that, let's say, should in case your delegates do not vote for the already experienced members of Parliament and go in for new ones, do you think that is going to affect the New Patriotic Party come 2025?
My answer is obvious, but of course, because I'm going to a contest, if I say yes, maintain the old ones, it will seem that I want to win the contest.
You really do want to win. I mean, there's no problem with that, Honorable.
But it's important that we understand the dynamics now.
Okay.
It has changed. There's a parliament of 160, 167 to 168.
Yes.
Also. Very, very tight parliament. Now we are losing 18 of our members who have decided not to contest.
Not to contest.
Just yesterday, I also realized Mr. Obi Amwa has also withdrawn from the contest.
Wow.
That takes it to about 19 of the very, very experienced ones. Now, if you have Chain Mensa Bones exiting, Joe Gatti exiting, Joe Weiss exiting, these are top politicians with so much experience in the House. Now, you can imagine the NDC side, fortunately, have had their contest already. And they have all the notable old guards still available. So you can imagine if you go into this contest on 27th, and then you also find a lot more of the existing ones who have not voluntarily gone out also losing their seats and getting new people coming into parliament. That will be a tall order, because when I went to parliament, trust me, it takes time to find your feet on the floor. It takes time to learn the rules and the regiment of the game, the standing orders, the constitution.
You think 4 years isn't enough for all these?
I mean, it took us about almost 3 months to even get our committee set up. It took the president about 6 months to even constitute his government. You know, and so 4 years in parliament, as I said, it's difficult to say it's too short, because then somebody will say, because you're going for a contest, that's why you're saying it's too short. But really, in reality, the more you stay in the House, the better you become. And then our appeal to our delegates to look at the dynamics now within the House, and if not for anything at all, retain most of the old guys, so we can shepherd the new ones coming in and to face off with the old guys within the NDC.
Okay, can we look at your performance against your former members of parliament? I mean, when you take a look at currently what you're doing, do you think that, I mean, you've come far, you're far behind, or they are far behind you when it comes to the performance?
You mean personally, or you're talking about parliament as a whole?
Personally, your constituency.
In my constituency, we've had 3 former members of parliament within the Fourth Republic. I mean, 92 of us in the MPP didn't go to parliament, so Madam Abremo from the NDC represented us. And then Honorable Albert Kandapa, the current National Security Minister, took over from 1997 and went for 4 terms before my predecessor also took over from 2013 to 2020 before I came in. I think it would be unfair for me to sit here and to compare myself to Honorable Albert Kandapa and Nona Mafo. I think the constituents should be the best judges as to whether I have performed better than they have or not. But for me, it is not about whether one has performed better or not. Everything we've done, all 3 of us, is for the benefit of the constituency, and I believe very strongly that we've all played our parts. It's my duty that as I sit on the chair now, I continue with their legacies, and if there are any wrongs that they also did, I try to erase those wrongs.
So far, how would you assess your term?
Personally, I think, in all honesty and all modesty, I think I've performed creditably, and it is my hope that my constituents also see it same, that I have really improved the image of the constituency and sold myself well to the general public.
Okay, Honorable. Now we all know about the current economic situation in most Ghanaians, the country or the economy has become very hard. Honorable, we are going to elect members of parliament and presidents. Now, in your constituency, what are you doing to secure or to win the seat for both the parliamentary and the presidential?
That's my constituency. We are going to win. MPP is going to win.
Anything can happen.
Nothing can happen. Nothing can happen.
Anything can happen.
Nothing can happen in my constituency. Don't worry.
Honorable, something can
Nothing
happen.
can happen.
Something might happen.
Nothing will happen.
So what are you doing?
They know that we have performed better, far better. I know my constituency. I was born there. What I see there today was not how it used to be 8 years ago.
I have to visit.
You have to. We were not a district. We didn't have a district ambulance. We didn't have a district court. We didn't have a district assembly block. We didn't. We didn't have an agenda 111, which is 80% complete as I speak to you. We didn't have that. So clearly there is a difference. The road from Ahinko to Chicheri had not been tarred. As I speak to you, it has been. Although it is not in the best of shapes, it is far better than when I retook over 8 years ago. So in my constituency, there's so much that we as constituents can pinpoint and say that yes, this is what this MPP government has done to us. A few years ago, if you want to renew your NHIA card, you have to move from Chicheri and drive 45 to 1 hour to Offensu just to pay 5-10 cedis to renew your NHIA card. As I speak to you, through the ingenuity of Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and his digitalization agenda, I sit in my house and I just punch some codes and I renew my card. That is what my constituents want. They're able to buy electricity while they sit at home. That is something significant that has happened to them. So, 4 years ago, 8 years ago, the lights were not stable. It took us about 3 to 4 years. And now I go to my village and it's like I'm in Accra. There's lights everywhere. Businesses are flourishing. But nobody can say that there are not challenges. Yes, there are challenges. But indeed, if you come to my constituency, definitely there's been some significant changes.
Honorable, you're coming against quite a formidable opposition, a contender, come 27th January, Saturday. Honorable, what makes you unique from your contenders?
I don't even know why you call him a formidable contender. Probably you know him so well. But of course, he's a gentleman. He's a member of the party. He's a former chairman of the constituency. Whilst he was a chairman, I was also a financial secretary. I contested him, or he contested the last time, and he placed third. I beat 5 other people to win the race. This time round, he's the only person attempting to unseat a first-time member of parliament, which has never happened in our constituency before. And you call him formidable. Of course, as I said, you may have some information about him that I don't know. But as I say, he's a gentleman. But I don't think that when it comes to elections on the ground, he's that formidable. And I think I'm quite confident that on the 27th of January, the good people of Afigya Kwabre North will do it for me as they did in 2020.
Honorable delegates are watching. Constituents of Afigya Kwabre North constituency are watching. They are watching us this evening. Now, as we head towards the polls come 27th January, just this Saturday, what message are you conveying to your delegates, Honorable?
First of all,
that's your camera.
First of all, I want to say thank you to them for giving me an opportunity to serve in Parliament. Recently I was selected as a member of the parliamentary contingent to the World Bank for the annual general meeting, and had the opportunity to speak at the conference. And whilst I stood on the stage and began to speak, I remembered what they did for me in 2020.
What did they do?
They gave me a thump. They gave me an opportunity to serve them. And so let me first thank them so well for giving me the opportunity. I'm sure you bringing me here is because I'm a member of parliament, and they gave me that opportunity. So thank you, delegates. And what I can say is that on Saturday, we must come out of this election united. We must, at all means and by all costs, come out of this election united. And I've always preached unity to my constituents. You know I have served you well for the past 3 years. You've seen me on television speaking. You heard me on radio speaking. I've promoted the constituency and taken the constituency a step further. And I believe very strongly, in all modesty, as I've said, that I've served you well. I mourn with you when there's time to mourn. I laugh with you when it's time for us to laugh. I play football with you when it's time for us to play. We eat together. I am one of you, born there, bred there. My mother, my father, always all come from the constituency, and you know that I feel their pain. And so I'll plead with delegates that it's been just 3 years since I went to Parliament, and I plead with them to give me an opportunity to continue the good work that I'm doing. And I believe very strongly that as we keep going on, I'll keep shining, I'll keep making them proud. And at the end of the day, the glory will come to all of us. I thank them.
Thank you, Honorable. Now, time is up, but I mean, obviously, I can't let you go without asking about your relationship with kids. What is it about kids that you enjoy so much?
Oh, I
finally.
I love kids. I mean, every year I have a program with my kids. Oh, it's beautiful. I mean,
oh, that's it on the screen.
Yes, every year.
Wow.
And I rotate the towns.
Wow.
So 2 years ago we went to Danase. This year we were at Abroma. Last 3 years we were at Buamai. And so I rotate it. And it's beautiful. And you'll be surprised the kind of thing they tell you when you are with them. You know, at this particular function, one girl came to me on Abuna. You know, it tells you that I mean they are in tune with what is going on the ground. Yeah, so it was a very
as
very
if they are not
moment.
watching, as if they are not paying attention, but they really are.
Yes, very very refreshing moment. I eat with them. We have a drink together every time during Christmas. It's a beautiful moment. I love my constituents. We have dancing competition and all that.
Hey.
Oh yes. And it's quite fun. It's fun.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you so much for your time. I must say that I've enjoyed this very conversation, and we'll be looking forward to having you more in the studio. Specifically our Kwabre Nkrumah studio here on Constituency Connect. Since December is general elections, we'll need you more in the studio to talk about your achievements so far.
Oh, no problem.
Yes, thank you.
I am a regular on the morning show.
Yes. So from the morning show, Tuesdays, we'll also catch you.
No problem.
Here
no
on
problem.
Constituency Connect.
No problem.
All right.
No
so
problem.
we have been in conversation with the Honorable Member of Parliament for Afigya Kwabre North Constituency, Honorable Collins Adomako Mensah. We've been talking about his journey so far, and also our focus was on the Afigya Kwabre North Constituency, where they are going to the polls to elect via parliamentary candidate. I mean, not just the Afigya Kwabre, almost all constituencies in the country. The NPP, the New Patriotic Party, delegates are going to the polls to elect via PCs to represent via constituents come December general elections. And Honorable Collins Adom, as I have intimated earlier, was our guest, or is our guest for tonight. Let me say a big thanks to you for choosing to stay with us. I should have done the messages, but unfortunately I was unable. But you can still drop your messages next when I meet Honorable, or I'll forward all the messages to Honorable later. A big thanks to Afigya Clothing for my beautiful outfit. Locate them at Dome Pillar 2 opposite Bremerland Paradise Hotel. Contact her on 0245 899 686. 0245 899 686. Afigya Clothing deals in both men and women. We know Bless, the host of the morning show. She has been in here with all those beautiful outfits, and so you can as well call her, contact her via the number mentioned earlier for your beautiful outfits. My name once again is Ivy Abnadidinakite, your host, Constituency Connect, here on your favorite television, Pan African Television. Do have a lovely evening and enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye.